Condo maintenance? What's going on? Hi everyone, my name is Mike Rennick. I'm the team lead, the senior broker of Team Rennick. We're part of that great Mangrove Realty Associates family. My guest this morning is Mr. Steve Reed.
Hey,
Steve, welcome. We did a video not too long ago talking about some of the local efforts with the older condos and the effort to maintain them. This is all based on the tragedy that occurred down in Miami. There's some efforts going on. We've got an update. Steve, what is it?
Well, Mike, the town has, I don't want to say followed on the bandwagon, but is highly concerned, and as you said, because of the collapse. And so last month, the planning director as well as the finance director took an inventory of Longboat condos, and it turns out a lot of them are older than us, which is hard to believe.
Many of what we would call the newer developments were built in the early 70s. There's some newer, but the early 70s was a heyday for development on Longboat.
Statistically, more than about 72% of the condos on Longboat Key were built more than 25 years ago, and about 50% were built more than 35 years ago.
So what that means is infrastructure, maintenance is a very important topic.
As well as the effect of oxidation in a waterfront community on rebar and some of the fundamentals, extremely important. And now the way government looks at it is, do we want to impose or have a recertification process from condo associations of the structural integrity of the condos? Right now, there is no recertification process. Condominiums can carry on and maintain, and if they do more than 50%, they have to bring it up to code. But there's no structural inspection necessary until there's a problem. The town is looking at that as the state legislature as to, do we need more stringent controls?
Maybe standards of some
standards and accountability.
Yes.
And now on Longboat, as you know, I mean, you're in this market, and it seems like one of the approaches is proactiveness. Many condominiums have recognized this years ago, and they put in the most modern windows, and they redo carports, they reinforce structures, and you see it up and down the key. It's something I guess everyone should be looking into, whether you live in a condo or buying a condo.
So where is this going to head? Who's leading the charge for Longboat? What government entity is doing that?
The commission.
Okay.
And the planning department, and we're going to see more of this as time goes on. And I think that probably within the condo associations, the conversation's certainly happening. And as I said, many condominiums are in impeccable shape.
Yes.
They're older, they're well maintained. That they're not necessarily the issue. But as you know, and we saw with Dolphin Towers in downtown Sarasota, these problems creep up quickly. It is a harsh environment on buildings.
Yes.
You know, so
this is an important topic. That's why we're back so soon with a follow-up video. In the first video, we talked about the efforts in Sarasota. Now we're out on the island, Longboat Key. We're talking about the efforts. This is important. Safety is the issue. People's lives are at stake. The good news here, being a Longboat Key resident for many, many years, is I see a lot of associations that are being really proactive. But I think my question, being serving on the board for 8 years where I live, is what are the right things to be proactive? How do we get the experts in here to make sure we know what has to be done?
I think that's where the town could really play a role and help, because they could have standards, they could have checklists, they could have these kind of things, so not everybody's doing their own thing.
Yeah. And I think that's important. Yeah. So Steve, we have to come back.
Absolutely.
Do another update. This is an important topic. Steve, I want to thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching another edition of Out and Around with Mike. Take care, everyone.